Welcome to Thrive, Heavy Lies the Crown, a new city builder survival game. Honestly, when I first played it, it reminded me a lot of Farther Frontier in terms of the sort of theme, but actually when you start playing it, you'll see it's a lot closer to Anno 1800. At the same time, do you actually get attacked by this in Anno? I don't think so. More seriously, there is a heavy emphasis in this game on making choices that matter. Will you be a benevolent ruler or a ruthless one? Before we dive into the actual gameplay, let me show you a bit the intro to the game so you can understand a bit also the story.
No one plans for ruin. I did not ask for this ever-thickening fog, for the illness and decay that it brings. It was no threat at first, just a light haze over fresh morning dew, bringing greater sheen to ripe berries and a bountiful fullness to grazing beasts. How subtly that sheen dulls and the bounty dries up. As it begins to creep in, to seep in, and whispers turn to whimpers. Food spoiled. Livestock dead, water poisoned. Some call it a cleansing. Most call it the Walgrim. I call it my destiny. My rule seemed bound to failure, but for failure, I'd never planned. But you, what destiny awaits the one who walks amongst the Walgrim without fear? It has always been you. So here, take this gift, the mantle it bestows. Pray that you might bear its weight a little better than I. But never forget, no one plans for ruin. When the Walgrim calls, how will you answer?
As part of Steam Next Fest, you can actually play a demo of the game, and as you can see, it's also going to be released in early access pretty soon, sometime in 2024. So obviously this is also what you should keep in mind, right? This is a demo, we're not going to have everything. For example, the combat is apparently still basic in this game, the UI is not finished, the concept of happiness has been simplified, but there is already quite a few things. Now, we're not going to start a new map right away. I want to show you a bit of a map that I've already started so you can see a bit what this game has to offer. Well, first of all, again, this is a lot more like Anno than many other games because actually instead of having just one city or in Anno one island, Anno 1800, you're going to have multiple. These are already other cities. There's also AI cities. For example, if I go over here, you'll be able to see this is a small AI city. So let me take that out. Over here, you have a bandit camp, right, with some soldiers that are protecting it. But yeah, basically, this was my starting base, which has, quite a bit of stone, some wood, some water, that's good, and a couple of different fertilities like apple and a few others. But it doesn't have all of them. Right? Similar to Anno, you basically need to start getting into other territory, and in this case, I'm starting to go over here to get, for example, access, in this case, to the grain. I don't have access to the grain right now, but now I can deploy a caravan and start making, in this case, a trader's hut. And I have brought, some resources and some people, and they can start, basically creating an outpost. This is going to be an outpost where we can do some production and then send them back over here. Now, continuing on the theme of Anno, we actually have, our people, they are in these houses here. These are my farmers' houses, the basic tier of population. There's 4 residences over here, right? And you can see, these are the basic needs. This is like my market, if you wish, right? Water, firewood. So these are the basic needs. And then there's also luxury needs, right? Which will provide me some happiness, and will also provide me some money. We have the wells over here, right? For example, farmers 288, laborers, which is the equivalent of the workers in Anno, 40, and then maintenance 105. These laborers, so the second tier of population, if you wish, are over here, right? This is the second, and so they have also different needs, right? For example, they're gonna want some meat also, some fish, some iron tools. They want some beer instead of the cider, and the house are different too. This is actually linked at the bottom. You can see the farmers here, the laborers, and there's 2 question marks. So that's probably 2 new tiers of population in the future. Now, your people obviously are also going to work in all of those structures. You know, if you look over here at my job, right, I have the farmers and where they're working, and I have also my laborers. And you know, you can decide which one will get people first. You can also actually where's the tavern, you know, you can put more or less people employed there. And then of course I do have, you know, all of my production. For example, this is an apple orchard over here. This one there is an M farm, right? And this is going to then be transformed, for example, here into the fermenter. We're going to take apple, water, and a bit of wood to make the cider. To make the beer, it is different, right? It's wheat, for example. Then here I'm making, you know, some of the clothes, right? The basic clothes, taking some amp, etc., etc. So you're gonna have also production chains if you wish, right? We have also trading hut, very similar to Anno, where you put a minimum stock and then sell above a certain number, or buy above, or buy to get to a number, right? We have the concept of happiness, as we mentioned, right? Employment, in employment, here are all of my resources. I can change if I want, you know, show a different resource. But by the way, this is one of the things I'm not 100% happy with. I feel like, how many is it? 2, 4, 6, 8. That's not enough. Like, I'm quickly probably gonna get way more resources. This is not enough. I'd love an UI that is a bit more like Captain of Industry. We can choose as many as you want. It's a dynamic UI that's going to show what you need. And while we are here, also, you know, this is my stock, but it is actually, I haven't been able to see, maybe this is somewhere, don't know, tell me, I haven't been able to see sort of a production or a statistic menu that tells me how much am I producing versus how much am I consuming. So right now, it's a bit more like I've been trying to produce surplus to make those things go up, but you know, I don't know exactly how much I need. So that's definitely been a challenge for me that I love for them to improve. Now you're gonna have a lot of events, things like fire, for example, for sure. They're going to burn your houses. Here it is, you can see a fire, right, is burning. So if I have water close by, they can do something about it. Or if I put over here a firehouse, they could do something. But yeah, right now it's just burning, so that's bad. It's gonna lose its health basically, and when it gets to 0, it's gonna be destroyed. I can rebuild or take out the debris. But there's also other events like look at this wyvern attacking my city, destroying a lot of things. That's not so great, but you know, I do what I can. And we know there's also a scenario, you can see it in the demo, the first act of the scenario. You have diplomacy with obviously all of the other city we saw. You have research, which is somewhat interesting in the sense that a bit different than usual, or instead of, you know, improving perfectly, is if you look at my wells, for example, I have 2 options. Do I want to make my wells better in the sense that the area of effect increases by 25%, but the rate of collection decreases? Or do I want to, you know, have the production double, but the storage is reduced? So it's a bit more like the items in Anno, you know, you have like the trade-off of which one is good. This is, you know, first tier, obviously it takes money, it also takes time. And then when you do this, then we can go to the next tier, etc. Right? But we do have, you know, a bit of research tree, if you wish, over here. That's interesting. Now, taking a quick look at the productions that are already available, you know, you can see here, I mean, road, bridge, normal, like a logger camp and quarries, also mines, different types of food over here. We have the farmer structures, right? For example, the houses, the well, transforming logs into firewood, transforming and making cider, beer, etc. There's quite a few, you know, over here also getting some horses. Then laborers, you know, we have even more, many that are still unlocked for me at this point. We're gonna be a mill to make some bread, blacksmith, and much more. Then we have military structures over here, right? To get some soldiers, to get also some productions, right? And again, this is just a demo of the early access, so I'm sure there's going to be bringing a lot more. But to be honest, there is already quite something. I mean, you can see also over here, by the way, like that's definitely gonna be an important part of the campaign, right? It's a nice castle if you wish. So yes, this game sort of copies a lot from Anno 1800 in some ways. It's not a bad thing in the sense that Anno 1800 is a great game, but I do also want to see what is going to be different, right? How much will the choices that you make really impact your gameplay, really forces you down one path or the other, if you want to be ruthless or if you want to be benevolent, right, type of thing. Now, I also haven't been really playing with the military in this demo, as they say it's quite basic right now, so we'll have to check that one. So all in all, it's not bad, but I'm not convinced yet either that it's a lot better than Anno 1800 at this point, right? So let's see what they bring in the future, but I'm also keen to hear your thoughts in the comments below. You know, is this something that you are actually really keen for? You know, what do you like about it? What you don't like about it? Share your feedback to the developers in the comments below. And also tell me, you know, I know this was a short episode where I showed you sort of a base that I created, but if you want to see a bit more of a let's play either of this demo or of the full game when it comes out, do tell me in the comments below. Thank you for watching, smash the like button, and I hope to see you next time.